All right, guys, it's basically everywhere now, and I'm sure you guys have all heard it, but Michael Burry is short $1.6 billion to market. And oh, by the way, we also have a lot of congressmen and senators here in the US actually selling out of stocks as well. So clearly something is kind of happening underneath the surface that obviously a lot of folks are seeing that a lot of the rest of us aren't seeing. So let's kind of discuss all of that today. But don't worry, you're only going to see the facts here today right after you gently tap that like button and consider subscribing to It's Super Easy to Do if you like the truth without the hype. And it's finally here. The stock analyzer tool has finally been released to my group, so they're in there using it right now, and you can use it too completely for free with your membership. I'm running a sale right now for the Market Insiders private group where you get access to that tool completely for free. You get 5 courses for free. You can see all my buy and sell alerts in real time. You get access to my watch list with price targets, tons of exclusive videos. I release 3, 4, 5 of those a week at least. You can slide into my DMs. You can jump on the live Q&As. Our Discord is full of 6 and 7 figure members who are in there actively helping everybody with their plan, with how to do valuations, challenging their theses, all kinds of various investing topics we are discussing all the time in there. There is absolutely no group out there that has more information at this price point than anybody else out there. So make sure you check out the pinned comment down there. Take advantage of that sale because, guys, with the stock analyzer tool kind of coming on board, the price has to go up. These things aren't free for us to use, but I wanted to make sure you guys had a chance to jump on it right now at this sale price before the price goes up forever. All right, so let's kind of start right there with Michael Burry first. And I know you guys all know him from The Big Short and everything else. I don't think we need to rehash his resume. He's been remarkably wrong since The Big Short. And that's okay. He did get that call right. Got to give him credit there. But, you know, let's not get into what happened in 2016 or 2018 or 2019 and all the other 9,000 different predictions he's made. Let's just look at the recent ones because he got the speculative bubble right in 2021. It was really, really speculative, really, really frothy. You call it whatever the heck you want. The fact of the matter was it was completely ridiculous during that time. But the problem becomes, hey, he made a great call there, but then he just kept doubling down. And that's where the problem starts with these guys. So basically, you know, after we had kind of the big crash down there in 2022 and we were approaching the bottom there in June, he basically said, hey, it's got another 50% to drop here, guys. We're just at the very beginning. He sold completely out of his fund. And of course, that June was the first bottom and it went on like a 3-month run before finally coming down again and making that final October low, which was just barely lower than that June low. And obviously, we've seen what's happened since then. So if you would have sold out and then shorted the market, you got completely destroyed listening to him. I'm not saying 2022 was a great year or anything else like that. But whenever you're already basically at what was the bottom and then you're calling for another 50% down and you're so far off, and as a matter of fact, you're even willing to sell out of everything to, basically back up that call, and then it doesn't drop that 50%, that's kind of a problem right there. And I'm pretty sure you got that one wrong. But don't worry, he was right back at the beginning of 2023 saying we are absolutely going to see a recession in the US here. And oh, by the way, stocks are in trouble. That's the super mother of all bubbles. I don't know, the ultimate bubble super whatever. I don't know. There's a different name for it every time. Who freaking cares? They've been saying that since 2011, so I don't know how much bigger the bubble can get. Apparently, it can just last for decades. I don't know, whatever the case is. But he basically predicted that those two things were going to happen. 2023 was going to be a terrible year for stocks, and we were going to see a recession. And here we are in August, and he was woefully wrong. I just checked my account, and despite everything kind of being beaten down the past few weeks, it still has a 65% return so far for the year. So again, if I would have listened to him and read the fear and basically shorted the market or just stayed on the sidelines, I missed out on 65%. And it was better than that a few weeks ago. But the point being, I missed out on 65% returns this year. That's a multi-year return I got in an 8-month period. We're listening to this guy. I would have gotten nothing or lost a lot of money if you went short during that market time. Oh yeah, and then there's that pesky little thing about a recession and that he said it was going to be a recession by any measure out there. And right now, we're not going to hit a recession based on any measure you want to throw out there. I mean, I guess it's possible this third and fourth quarter could be negative and therefore give us that quote unquote technical recession. But right now, nothing is lining up for that. And the data is not pointing towards that at all. So once again, he was remarkably wrong on his predictions. And here we are again with new predictions. Oh, let's kind of talk about his current prediction that he just made right now. Basically a $1.6 billion short against the markets, you know, the NASDAQ and the S&P. So how many of you guys out there actually pulled the 13F and actually read it, right? I'm sure some folks did, some folks didn't. But that's why reading these documents a lot of times is so important and not just going with the media narrative or the headline or whatever the case is. Go actually pull that document. You can see exactly what he did. And you can go back and see this short was put in place sometime in June, maybe even before then. It doesn't give you the exact date, but the point being, It's been there since June, and you can take a look right there what the market's done since June moving forward. He has gotten absolutely destroyed in these positions. Now, I don't know if he still owns it. He may have sold out of it. Who knows? You won't know that until he makes his next filing. But the point being is he got absolutely destroyed with that prediction so far. So I personally will take my 65% anytime over his doom and gloom and continued negative trends in regards to what he's actually doing out there and in regards to what it's actually returning him. But let's talk about Congress now. And you guys know that they have inside information. They have a lot of things that the rest of us doesn't have. So they have to be right all the time, right? I mean, they're going to know everything ahead of time. They know what's going on. They have that, that little inside loop. We all complain about it, but they can't ever seem to close that loop. Isn't that magical how that works, right? But the point being, they obviously know things that we don't. So they must be doing better than us, right? And because they do better than us, obviously, when they're all selling out and they're all turning kind of bearish on the market, we should be paying attention to that too, right? And actually, the new tool I just released to my members has a special section right there where it breaks down what the senators and Congress people are actually buying. You can actually just put in your ticker symbol there and it'll pull up your specific chart. It'll give you charts and, earnings data and all kinds of good stuff like that, buy and sell ratings, the whole nine. But it'll also give you right there a block of every single, person in our government who's been buying or selling that stock. So just another reason to join right there if you like that sort of information, you kind of want to see what's going on and what they're actually doing with your particular stock that you own. Well, you guys know I hate politics with a passion. I do. I hate it. I hate both sides. I could care less. I have no interest in debating any of those finer points in regards to that. I have no interest in really discussing it all. But what I will say is, despite the fact they have inside information, despite the fact that it is clearly a conflict of interest for them to be able to trade individual stocks, with that sort of information, with some of the committees that they're on and some of the other information they have access to and everything else, despite all of that, their performance is woefully bad. They perform worse than hedge funds, and hedge funds can't even beat the market. So, I mean, it's kind of like if you want to follow the hedge funds, you're going to not beat the market, which means you should have just thrown your money in an index fund and left it. And then if you're going to follow what the heck our congressmen and senators and, congresswomen and everybody else are doing, you're going to lose even worse than following a hedge fund. So I don't understand these narratives that come out where people want to follow people who lose more than they win. Now, when they win, is it big? Yes. Is it a big headline? Of course it is. Whenever a congressperson, makes a trade and it makes a lot of money, it makes headlines, especially depending upon what side of the aisle they're on, it makes headlines on the opposing news channels and about how this is so corrupt and one side's corrupt, the other side's corrupt. They're both corrupt. That's the bottom line with both of that. But the point being, they don't talk about the other 10 times that they lost or the other 150 times that they lost. They don't discuss any of that sort of stuff. They only discuss when they win big like that. But the reality is their performance is very, very bad. So for me, I'm just going to ignore all this noise, continue to follow my plan just like I did last year, because otherwise I would not be up 65% this year if I would have listened to everybody else last year and didn't pour as much money as I've ever poured into the stock market and instead listened to them, stayed on the sidelines and not bought anything. I wouldn't have some of the great deals and some of the great batches of stocks that I have in my portfolio today because of that. And remember, if you want to get that stock analyzer tool completely for free, you want to see my watch list for price targets, you want to see all my buy and sell alerts, you want to take 5 courses for free, you want access to the best Discord out there and a ton more, make sure you check out the pinned comment down there and take advantage of the sale. Sorry guys, it's one of those things. It's expensive to have and it's expensive to maintain, and continue to add tools like this one on there. And we're continually looking to add things. So, I want to give you guys this discount, give you guys as long as possible to jump onto it. But at some point in time, the price does have to go up. But if you lock in your price, you get to keep it for as long as you stay a member. So make sure you keep that in mind so that way you don't have your price increase on you later on. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market. And click here to see my exact plan for this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.